Tonight, military officers have been urged to improve negative public perception through compassion and humanity. Also on this broadcast, we have Saturday politics, and besides that, the latest in the world of sports. From wherever you're watching, this is the Legends edition. A very warm welcome, and the broadcast begins right now with the highlights.
Let us remain calm. We are in control. We need those quarantine centers.
Scaling up surveillance along border points. Government begins sensitization forums for truck drivers along border points in the ongoing efforts to keep Ebola at bay.
And we are not going to change the term dates because of 80 schools out of 52,000 schools.
No cause for alarm. Government downplays the magnitude of the current school unrest. Kijabe Missionary Town, Rao, Africa Inland Church accuses Kiambu County government of attempting to encroach on the town's operations. A very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Muchuma Odim. Holding brief for my colleague Marie Yambo. Our sign language expert tonight is Byron Abuli. Talk to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Straight to our lead story, Education Principal Secretary Julius Bitok is downplaying claims of widespread school unrest. Bitok insists learning remains smooth in majority of schools, dismissing recent disruptions as isolated incidents. This comes amid mounting pressure from the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers Union in Kakamega to send learners home early for the midterm break to ease tensions. And as the debate rages, grieving families from the Utumishi Girls Senior School fire tragedy are pleading for closure, calling on the government to expedite the release of their children's bodies for burial.
The recent school unrest that has resulted in early closure of some boarding school and destruction of property has seen pressure mount for an early school midterm break. However, Education Principal Secretary Julius Bitok has dismissed claim of widespread unrest, adding the ministry will conduct compliance checks and engage institution with a view of promoting dialogue between learners and teachers.
We have deployed 1,000 quality assurance officers around our schools to support in containing these unrests in our schools. In addition to that, we are telling the parents and the teachers they need to strengthen guidance and counseling. They need to strengthen the student leadership structures so that they have a conversation with students. Instead of forcing the students to do things, they can engage them.
According to Bitok, the incidences are isolated and are not a cause of alarm, adding schools are scheduled to break for midterm break in the next 2 weeks from 24th to 28th of this month.
There are some of the mock examinations which are creating tensions in our schools. We have asked the boards of management and the school management to reconsider even postponing the mock exams temporarily to ensure that students do not riot. Let us have a conversation with the students. If they are not ready for a mock exam, you should be able to engage them. They should be able to tell you 99.2% of our schools are safe. Learning is going on well. Less than 80 schools around the country are the ones which have problems. And we are not going to change the term dates because of 80 schools out of 52,000 schools.
But even as he appealed for calm, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Union in Kakamega joined the fray of those calling for an early midterm break. The union officials argued this will reduce rising tensions.
Halfway the term ni wiki 7. Sasa sisi tukiangalia tunashangaa ilikuwa aje ikawekwa kule mbele. Unajua half term ni ya kusaidia watoto kwenda kupumzika kiasi ama kidogo. Half term ingekuja next week.
This comes as parents whose children died in Utumishi Girls Senior School fire tragedy are demanding the release of their kids' bodies for burial. The families had turned up at Naivasha Sub-County Mortuary to identify the bodies of their kin.
Tunapaswa kupewa mili za watoto wetu ndio tuende tukazike, ndio pia tuweze kupata ile tupate kukaa na ile tumetulia sisi kama wazazi. Tushapoteza watoto wetu, tushakubali, lakini mbona hizi mahitirafu mingi zinatokea saa hizi?
Now it's almost 10 days since that incident occurred, and we've waited already enough, and we are feeling as families that it's the wait should be enough for now.
Schools unrest to Ebola updates. Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni has warned against politicizing Ebola prevention strategies, urging the public to shun individuals opposing plans to establish quarantine facilities. The PS says the country must prepare itself in case of exposure for infected persons to be quarantined. This as she announced the government has scaled up surveillance along border points, with weekly sensitization forums being held for truck drivers along border points.
Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni toured several points of entry in the country in ongoing efforts to enhance surveillance. This is Malaba border, one of the country's busiest entry points and a key transit corridor connecting Kenya and Uganda. Here, all those accessing the country are first directed to wash their hands at designated points before their temperature is checked.
Niko sawa, hata saa hizi nimetoka kupimwa hapa, niko sawa kabisa. Sina shida.
Sisi tukitoka ng'ambo, kifika hapo, naosha mikono na unasimama hapo na unapimwa, alafu sasa unaenda.
Biashara tunafanya, lakini wakasa wao wenye wanakuja, sisi pia tunawasimamia mbali kwa sababu sisi wengine tayuna tu sanitizer.
According to PS Muthoni, Kenya is on high alert with 59 suspected cases of Ebola testing negative for the virus.
As you can see, the cases are increasing, albeit they are negative, but by the virtue that we are suspecting, it's case enough to pin and say that we are at high risk.
The PS emphasized the need for Kenya to have adequate quarantine facilities as part of its preparedness to handle any cases of the disease.
I don't want we politicize matters health. Kindly, I am asking members of the public, let us remain calm. We are in control. We need those quarantine centers at whatever cost.
She called on hoteliers to ensure all beddings are disinfected, even as she announced plans to sensitize truck drivers on the disease.
Every week, at least 30 minutes, na ikuwe a standing meeting ya truck drivers. And you can also encourage others to join in the meeting.
There's screening going on at the Port Health in Busia. Screening is going on in Malaba. And our intention is that within the next few days, we should have screening everywhere where people cross.
Interior Principal Secretary Dr. Raymond Omolo toured the Taveta Holili one-stop border post to assess Kenya's preparedness.
What we have done as a nation, working with all our officers at our points of entry and exit, is to ensure that there is adequate preparedness to be able to handle and deal with any case as and when it arises.
According to data from the World Health Organization, the Democratic Republic of Congo has so far confirmed 452 cases and 82 deaths, whereas the neighboring Uganda has confirmed 19 cases and 2 Ebola-related deaths. Nancy Okware, Legends Edition.
Onto Saturday politics, Jubilee Party Deputy Party Leader Dr. Fred Matiang'i is urging political leaders to put aside their differences and work together to find lasting solutions to challenges affecting schools across the country. Speaking during a church service in Meru County, Matiang'i said the challenges facing learners, parents and school administrators have reached alarming levels and require immediate intervention. This report was compiled by Timothy Kipnoso.
As the debate on the current school unrest continues, a section of leaders is calling for an urgent bipartisan dialogue on Kenya's education sector, warning that the country is facing a deepening crisis that could jeopardize the future of an entire generation.
Because you see, we can keep pointing fingers at the government and blaming the government and saying this and saying that. We look like irresponsible people. Our children are suffering and we are spending time calling each other names, saying it's him who's wrong, it's how who has not done this, this one who has not done this.
Led by Jubilee Deputy Party Leader Dr. Fred Matiang'i, the leaders challenge politicians to put aside their differences and work together to find lasting solutions to challenges affecting schools across the country.
Safari tuweke sasa shida zetu kidogo kando na tofauti zetu kwa hii issue moja tu ya elimu ya watoto wetu. Tukae chini tuone vile tunaweza kuzungumza, and I hope the government will also be reasonable.
They revealed that they will propose an all-party dialogue on education during an upcoming opposition retreat, arguing that the issue transcends political affiliations and directly affects millions of Kenyan children. The opposition leader warned that failure to address the current challenges could lead to severe long-term consequences for the country.
Sisi tunataka watoto waende shule, waendelee kusoma. And we must manage the sector responsibly. There are some solutions that I think, instead of looking like we are criticizing the government all the time, there are some solutions that are within reach. I would advise, this is unsolicited, I don't have to advise the president, but if I was there myself.
Elsewhere, Vihiga Women Representative Dr. Beatrice Adagala has urged residents of Vihiga County to support President Ruto's administration to foster development in the region.
Tumesema Ruto na mama wa vijana wangu, mtashika vitambulisho, mmeshika, mtachukua kura. Sasa mnajua hiyo ndio kijana amenionyesha. Kijana anasema ako na kadi.
Timothy Kipnusu for Legends Edition.
And to a story we highlighted for you at the beginning of the broadcast, a management controversy is brewing in Kijabe, missionary town, Kiambu County, one of the unique settlement areas in the country. The quiet town, which for decades has been under the stewardship and management of the Africa Inland Church, is accusing Kiambu County government of attempting to encroach on the town's operations, raising fears of a possible erosion of faith, values and discipline. Our reporter John Kahiro tonight shares the uniqueness, legacy and the emerging leadership row.
Nestled on top of Scenic Escarpment and about 65 kilometers northwest of Nairobi's capital lies the Kijabe missionary town, place unlike no other in Kenya. For decades now, the town, whose management is firmly anchored on the doctrines and the leadership of the AIC Church, has stood firm as a symbol of faith, discipline and service, being home to renowned missionary institutions, schools and medical facilities. But even more interestingly, within the boundaries of this quiet town, in a home to more than 5,000 people, alcohol is prohibited, cigarettes are not sold, and smoking is forbidden. But beneath this serenity, a dispute between the management of Kijabe Missionary Town and the Kiambu County government is brewing, one that threatens to erode the tranquility, which has been the second name of the town.
Hizo barriers zimewekwa miaka mingi imepita na zimekuwa na hajapakuwa na shida yoyote. Sasa shida imekuja saa hizi au kwa wakati huu sana miezi kama 2-3 imepita.
The missionaries' management and the residents are accusing the county government of invading operations.
For the last 20 years, imekuwa hii ni station ya kanisa. Watu wamekuwa wakiprovidiwa na maji, stima, barabara tunatengeneza, tunabeba garbage, tunawaprovide na choo. Hata stima watu wa Kenya Power wamefikisha pale, hawaingii huku. Wanafikisha pale, station management inachukua pale, inauzia watu yake.
A trend they say could gradually disrupt the principles that have made Kijabe a town of faith and order.
Sisi tunaona kama county government ya Kiambu ikiingilia huku italeta vitu kama pombe ama sigara ambazo sisi hatujai kuwa nazo over 100 years. Tunaona county kama inamezea ile ushuru sisi upatia station.
The county officials, however, maintain that change is inevitable.
Cannot even understand why they actually telling us not to go there, because we are not breaking the rule. They are going there for compliance. In fact, in terms of building approvals, in terms of public health, if they can give us access, we have no problem. All we are saying is that Canlelo, that all be followed, period.
According to the county government, the said interventions have been triggered by the mushrooming of cartels who have for years taken advantage of the uniqueness of the town to bypass the rules of the land.
Only a small section of cartels, where there are hotels there are buildings that are coming up without approvals. That's the issue we have, nothing else. Those are the issues. The cartel, that's what we want to break, and we want to protect the mwananchi. If you go to Kijabi, I don't know whether you've been there, you see some buildings, 3 stories, 4 stories. They don't have approvals.
Tunataka station management itulinde, chuni wao tunajua kama wao wako na hasira wakuja waongea na watu wa station waelewane, lakini sisi tunataka station management.
And as the management dispute of this area widens, the residents here just remain hopeful that an amicable solution will be found without compromising the unique identity and the rich heritage of Kijabe Missionary Town.
Tungeomba gavana wa Matangi akuje aongee na station management waelewane ili tujue ama kuacha hiyo harassment ya kuwa watu wake wanakuja kutuharas hapa na ni karibu na hospitali.
John Kahiro for Legends Edition.
On to other developments, military officers have been challenged to improve the negative public perception about them by showing compassion and humanity. This message dominated a Thanksgiving service of officers in Kiambu who also paid homage to their colleagues who died in the line of duty. They were also urged to embrace charitable activities and support vulnerable individuals to counter the perception that security officers lacked compassion. This report was compiled by Tess Mutai.
The annual Thanksgiving Mass was held at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church, presided over by Kenya Military Ordinariate Bishop Wallace Ng'ang'a. The officers sat at attention dressed in their well-pressed uniforms, moving in perfect alignment. It is at this forum that they were urged to show compassion and change the public's negative perception about them. Bishop Ng'ang'a also called for remembrance of officers who lost their lives in line of duty, saying such occasions offer an opportunity to pray for their families and honor their sacrifice. He further encouraged officers to engage in charitable activities and support the vulnerable, noting that such acts can help improve public trust in the disciplined forces.
So in a special day like this, we pray for deceased blacks, for deceased officers who are brothers and sisters when you want to go for katika kazi.
Kenya Forest Service Director for Forest Conservation and Management, Clement Ngoriareng, reminded officers of their critical role in safeguarding the nation, urging them to translate the message of Thanksgiving service into action.
Let us serve well as CSR. Let us act not as soldiers when we are at home. Let us be mentors and let us be strong wherever we are as we follow our shepherd. If we carry out our duties well, if we discharge our function very well, this country will go forward. So let us be officers, commanders who give thanks.
He also called on families and communities to support officers and appreciate the sacrifices they make in protecting the country. For Legends Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
18 minutes past the top of the hour. We are taking our first commercial break. Much more coming up with the detail and clarity you deserve. Stay with us.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow. Uwe fiti mambo ya returns. Ijumaa tarehe 19 na Jumamosi ya tarehe 20 mwezi Juni. Tutakuwa na mobile clinic mjini Kisumu katika maeneo ya Kenyatta Ground na opposite Palmas Hotel. Mjini Kisii tutakuwa katika eneo la Capital Roundabout. Mjini Bungoma tutakuwa maeneo ya Chepkube Market. Huko Kakamega tutakuwa Mliro Gardens na mjini Siaya tutakuwa maeneo ya Ahindi Gardens. Tarehe 30 Juni iko mlangoni. Usingoje hadi dakika za mwisho. File KRA returns mapema. Ishi bila stress. Jijue, jibeta. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Unacharibu nini? Umesikia vile mzuri? Nani aligundua hiki kitu bwana? Akasema maembe yaanguka. Oja demokrasia anaitwa Aisha Kinyabuto.
Sisi ndio wale tunakulaga kwa hoteli kubwa kiasi. Ani ambaye anahusika na upishi kwa hiyo hoteli.
Kida yako wapi?
Ile kiwango ambayo nimeletewa.
Wewe bado uko kiwango ya omena.
Huwezi weka pilipili mingi hivi na expect mtu akule hii samaki.
Si umekula mbaga ungali umemaliza.
Mbona kwa hiyo hoteli nasungusha?
Mwanaume msima unasunguka huku kwa sababu ya chakula.
Mama, wewe ni manager wa hiyo hoteli. Sasa sijui kwa nini unagombana.
Yoni hujuma.
Ayai.
Ala.
Glad you're watching the Legends edition. Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. The Anglican Church of Kenya, Nairobi Diocese has called for national unity and peaceful political engagement as the country gears up for the 2027 general election. Nairobi Diocese Bishop Jonathan Kabiru further decried the fire tragedy at Utumishi Girls Senior School and rising cases of torching schools, saying the incidents point to shrinking values. He was speaking after presiding over the induction, installation and collation of senior clergy and lay leaders at ACK St. Stephen's Cathedral, Jogoo Road.
The solemn procession out of ACK St. Stephen's Cathedral in Nairobi marked the beginning of a significant journey in the life of the 18 newly collated and installed provost, vicar general, archdeacons, clerical canons and lay canons in the Anglican Church of Kenya, Diocese of Nairobi. The newly installed leaders, clad in ceremonial robes, took vows committing themselves to faithful service, accountability and stewardship.
What is making us more excited is this appointment. We want to make change in the community. Our bishop is very passionate about the church working together with the community, and that's what we want to do.
Serving the road in the vineyard is not in pain. I served the road for the last over 40 years, and today I've gotten the fruit.
ACK Nairobi Bishop Jonathan Kabiru said the appointment are part of efforts to strengthen the church's outreach and ensure it remains relevant in addressing challenges facing society.
As we know too well, the church must remain an example to the rest of the society, to the rest of the world, to ensure that indeed we show accountability, transparency, hard work.
The bishop spoke of the recent fire tragedy at Utumishi Girls Senior School and other incidences of unrest in learning institutions. He cautioned that Kenya is facing a moral question that requires urgent intervention from families, schools, religious institutions and government.
The issue of good morals is not just a responsibility of the government, of the church, but the society at large. And so it is my prayer that the government will do it is best, and especially ensuring that our schools have counseling programs.
And as political activity begins to gather momentum ahead of the 2027 general election, Bishop Kabiru appealed to leaders and citizens to embrace peace and reject divisive politics.
And therefore, we must shun ethnic politics, and tribal issues must never arise at any particular time. So we ask our leaders to be conscious at this particular time, and all of us to embrace peace.
Joseph Wahungu for Legends Edition.
The third leg of the Jijue Jibeta File and Pay campaign concluded Saturday in Trans Nzoia County. The caravan snaked through Kiminini, Kambimiwa, Kitale Town, Moy's Bridge and Matunda, sensitizing eligible voters on the need to file returns through the self-care plan on their phones. Trans Nzoia County is part of the North Rift region where KRA targets an 85% rate of compliance for active payers. The deadline for filing returns is 30th of June. KRA has partnered with KBC to sensitize the public on the importance of filing returns. On to other news that matter to you tonight. The family of Julia Macharia is appealing to Kenyans of goodwill for financial assistance as she continues to battle a series of serious medical conditions that have left her hospitalized and bedridden. According to Julia, the family has exhausted all available resources in an effort to meet the growing medical expenses. She is now seeking support to raise the 2.7 million shillings required for treatment and ongoing medical care. Here is that report.
The family of Julia Macharia has made a heartfelt appeal to Kenyans for financial assistance as she continues to battle a severe illness that has affected her life over the last 6 months.
Nimekuwa mgonjwa kwa muda, last year yote nimekuwa mgonjwa, lakini kuja mwezi wa Disemba ndio niliweza kuanza kutafuta matibabu, na hospitali ambayo niliweza kuenda pale na kuadmitiwa kwa sababu nilikuwa na shida ambayo ilikuwa very emergency.
According to Julia, her health problems started after she was diagnosed with a blood clot in the heart.
Niliweza kufanyiwa upasuaji hapa, wakaeka pipe kwa vein ndio iweke hiyo dawa kwa heart ndio iweze kudissolve ile clot.
While undergoing treatment, she sustained spinal injuries and later developed further complications involving her liver and kidneys. The condition has resulted in frequent and prolonged hospital stays as she undergoes treatment.
Nikiwa tu kwa hiyo procedure, nikawa niko na shida ya lungs. Zilikuwa zimefail kwa sababu ya maji ambayo ilikuwa mingi sana kwa mwili. Juu ya heart condition ilikuwa imedrain a lot of water. Liver ikakuwa imeswollen.
Her family says they have depleted their savings and exhausted all available resources in the effort to meet her medical expenses. They are now seeking to raise 2.7 million shillings to support her ongoing treatment and care.
Nimeweza kutumia 1.7 million na SHA imeweza kunilipia na nimeiexhaust. Kwa hivyo ile pesa SHA imenilipia it's around 500,000. Hii ingine imetoa kwa marafiki. Nimekuja kwa moyo wa unyenyekevu mwingi sana nikiomba chochote ambacho utakuwa nacho, feel it in your heart. You support me na I know God will bless you.
Well-wishers can assist Julia by sending their contributions through M-Pesa number 0713-491-378. That is 0713-491-378.
Women in agroecology have called on the government to implement policies that ensure women have better access to land and finances so that they can engage in agroecology more equitably. Speaking during an Africa Women Leaders in Agroecology meeting held in Kiambu County, women leaders, however, urged their peers to look for alternatives available like land leasing to gain access to land. They spoke during the launch of a business incubation fund to support women in agroecology entrepreneurship. Here is this report.
To you, Awola, incubation fund.
It's a meeting that brought together African women leaders in agroecology and entrepreneurs in Juja, Kiambu County. Here, women agroecology entrepreneurs drawn from various parts of the country showcased their various products. The challenges that continue to face women in this space were also highlighted.
Wamama tunakaa tukijua ya kwamba wale wamama wafugaji hawana chochote. Kajiado tuko na hiyo challenge kwa sababu sisi ndio tulikuwa unauzwa na kila kitu, unanunuliwa na ng'ombe, unapeanwa, unakuwa property na kila kitu, na ukiachwa umeachwa. So you own nothing.
A lot of the organizations that are even practicing agroecology, there are no institutions in this country that are training people in agroecology. We don't have very good curriculums and books for people to read and to document, for somebody to actually know this is the process I go through to produce biofertilizers. This is how these fertilizers need to look. And even when I harvest my vegetables, I have to be very careful about the water I use to manage and the way the vegetables are cooked. We have no institutions training that in this country.
The 2010 Constitution of Kenya guarantees women rights to land ownership. However, finances, cultural structures, and legal loopholes has made it difficult for women to own this critical production resource.
Public offices, the chief's offices, the land offices, there's a lot of corruption. Maneuvering in these organizations or in this institution as a woman is really, really tricky, complicated, high processes. So women tend to really give up, and this place has been left for men.
The government is being urged to move beyond laws to ensure women are able to access land. Women have also been asked to seek alternative means of accessing land and use tools provided to report any form of land injustices in their communities.
What we are doing as community organizations is to educate women to be able to look at other alternatives like leasing land as they pursue their succession, because they need to bring food on the table.
During the meeting, Africa women leaders in agroecology, Awole, launched an incubation fund for women in the country to support women in various stages of their entrepreneurship journey.
We look at the scalable innovations that women are doing and then support or incubate the ones that will uplift them in terms of enterprises.
During the meeting, cohort 3 of the Africa Women Leaders in Agroecology graduated after a year-long training. The program is meant to equip women in agriculture with skills, networks and advocacy tools needed to transform African food systems. Caroline Kamau for Legends Edition.
The National Heroes Council Chief Executive Officer, CEO Charles Wambia, has pledged sustained stakeholder engagement to plant trees at Heroes Corners in prisons across the country. Speaking at Kilifi County GK Prison after planting 1,000 trees at the Heroes Corner, Wambia said the decision is in line with the government agenda to increase the country's forest cover. Here is that report.
The National Heroes Council Board, Kenya Prison Service officers, heroes and heroines flocked Kilifi County GK Prison Heroes Corners for a tree planting exercise.
By virtue of the fact that prison has land, National Heroes Council has a big chance to also get opportunity to commit to the presidential directive of committing the 15 billion trees in the year 2032.
During the exercise, Council's official KPS and environmental heroes and heroines planted 1,000 trees at Heroes Corners to combat deforestation and restore degraded land. It was here that the National Heroes Council Chief Executive Officer, CEO Charles Wambia, pledged to continue partnering with other stakeholders to plant trees.
Our partnership in terms of presidential directive, this one is part of that, working together to achieve the goal. You know, Heroes, we just have a pavement office. We don't have land. So the only way we can come out as a board to achieve that goal is to partner with those institutions which can give us priority.
On his part, a Kenya Prison Service in charge of Kilifi County, Kennedy Ondijo, assured the council members that trees planted in the institution will grow.
Trees ambazo leo mumetuletea, ambazo ni zenu wenyewe, ambao mumetuletea hapa. Sisi kama Kenya Prison Kilifi, tumeshukuru sana ya kwamba tutazilinda na tuta make sure ya kwamba next time mkirudi hapa mtaziona zikiwa ziko hali ya.
He further challenged inmates and uniform officers to be involved in the conservation efforts.
Tumepanda around 500 trees na ambaye tuta make sure ya kwamba staff and prisoners tutakuwa tumeweka ulinzi mkali, ndio at least ilete environment ambayo inafaa, ambayo mkija mfurahie ya kwamba kila kitu ambayo inafanyika kwa ukweli.
So far, the council has planted hundreds of trees at Heroes Corners in Kenya prison service institutions, in among others Kitengela, Kajiado, Machakos and Kilifi County.
Before we get sporty with my colleague Daniel Wakome, who is already in studio, let's take you to the counties. Drama erupted Saturday morning at Kanyuambora police post after the family of a 29-year-old man dumped his body at the station. The family further demanded that police publicly read the occurrence book, OB, detailing the events leading to his death before they proceed with his burial. More of this in the county's roundup.
The family of Crispin Munene staged the dramatic protest, insisting that officers disclose what transpired after their kin was taken to the station. The family questioned how Munene could have died just hours after being taken into police custody.
Hapa tunapigania haki ya Crispin kwa sababu the fact Crispin alikuja hapa police station saa 4 alafu alipelekwa hospitali 5 akiwa amekufa.
Sasa kwa sababu nimekatazwa mbina, nilikuja hapa nikaisoma na nilikuwa nataka kuisoma mbele ya watu wajue ile kitu kifo yake ilitoka.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Methodist University, KEMO, has officially installed a Reverend Dr. John Maromba as its 6th chancellor during a colorful investiture ceremony held at the university's main campus in Meru. He pledged to work closely with the university management, staff, students, and stakeholders to promote peace, unity, and innovation within the institution.
Kenya Methodist University, established through the vision of the Methodist Church in Kenya, has consistently made a beacon of transformation, shaping lives through education, health care, and social empowerment.
Meanwhile, hundreds of youth from Jomvu sub-county turn out on Saturday morning for a fitness run dubbed Team Discipline, an initiative aimed at promoting healthy living and steering young people away from drug abuse and other social vices.
Na leo tumeshirikiana na Team Discipline kwa kuleta vijana pamoja Jomvu sub-county nzima kwa kujaribu kuwakusanya pamoja na kuwaepusha na madawa kulevya na mihadarati ile mingine na tabia ambazo kidogo katika jamii haziambatani.
Separately, the State Department for Technical, Vocational Education and Training TVET has partnered with National Government Administration Officers NGAOs to mobilize youth in villages to join technical institution for skills training. TVET Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria, who spoke at Kisii National Polytechnic, said the collaboration targets to enroll 2 million youth at the grassroots into TVETs countrywide.
We are going to collaborate to bring the young people to the institutions for skilling, because His Excellency the President has directed that he needs not less than 2 million young people in the institutions.
In Homa Bay, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development KICD Director, Professor Charles Ogondo, has raised concerns over a proposed 100 billion shillings budget cut in the 2026-2027 financial year, warning that it would disrupt education programs.
The deficit of 100 million Kenya shillings in the education budget will interfere with a few programs that the ministry had planned to offer. However, that deficit is not strange, it is not new.
And communities living along Kenya's coastline have been urged to take a leading role in ocean conservation by preventing pollution of beaches and marine ecosystems as part of broader effort to combat climate change. Speaking during the event, Justice Anthony Obwai of the Environment and Land Court warned that preceding shorelines and expanding inland water bodies were visible indicators of climate change.
Climate change ni kitu ambacho tunaangazia sana kama mahakama. Sababu zile zinafanya bahari inarudi na maji ya inchi kama lakes inaongezeka. Ni sababu gani?
Finally, more than 60,000 residents in 4 arid and semi-arid counties are set to benefit from improved water and sanitation services. This follows the signing of an 840 million shillings contract for the Kitui Matu water supply and sanitation project.
It's among a number of big water programs, schemes that the government of Kenya Kwanza is implementing in the regions. And this particular program that we are launching today is supporting 60,000 Kenyans, because the area we currently are working in is ASAL, arid and semi-arid, which is affected by a lot of droughts. I mean, it's expansive and also very dry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people? Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about the viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya, every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Easy.
I am clean. So this leaves you.
See?
Who's he? Hey! Mwanamke anajaribu, si ndio?
Sijamuona. Sijamuona, madam.
Hello. Who's this?
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Legends Edition Sport. Now, Kenya's national women's football team, the Harambee Starlets, lost to Zambia's Copper Queens 4-1 on penalties in their semi-final clash of the Four Nations tournament after they came from behind to secure a 1-1 draw at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola. Priska Chilufya found the back of the net in the 4th minute to give Zambia the lead before Fasila Athiambo leveled for the Harambee Starlets in the 78th minute. Zambia, who won the penalty shootout 4-1, and will now face Zimbabwe in the final after they defeated Lesotho by 3-1 earlier, while Kenya will face Lesotho in the third-place playoffs on Tuesday. Both Kenya and Zambia are using the Four Nations tournament to gauge their level of preparedness for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, which is scheduled to take place in Morocco from the 26th of July to the 16th of August this year. And the Kenya national men's soccer team Harambee Stars will play Lesotho tomorrow in the reverse fixture of their international football friendly at the Lucas Moripe Stadium in South Africa. They drew 1-1 in their first encounter played on Thursday. Harambee Stars are using their friendlies as preparation for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, even though Kenya has already qualified as a co-host alongside Tanzania and Uganda. Kenya is pooled in Group D alongside South Africa, Eritrea and Guinea in the Pamoja 2027 AFCON.
In the last game, especially getting into that final third, we created a couple of chances, but we have to be a lot more clinical. So that's the first issue.
Training's been good, to be fair. As you can see, the vibes are really good. I think especially when it's time to get serious, we get serious. And again, it's just putting on that badge, representing your country tomorrow is probably the most exciting thing for me.
And the Kenya Sevens team Shujaa must win the 11th placement final tomorrow, provided the US lose their 5th place playoff against Fiji to secure a place in the 2027 top division at the HSBC World Championship as the 2027 season comes to a close in Bordeaux, France this weekend. Kenya failed to make it to the main cup quarters when they were subjected to their 3rd consecutive defeat by Great Britain, who beat them 14-5. They had lost their other group phase matches 31-12 to Fiji and 26-5 to defending champion South Africa. Shujaa dropped to 9th place semi-final where they lost 7-5 to Germany. Shujaa's hopes of playing in the World Rugby Sevens Division 1 are now a game of chance because they must win their 11th place playoff and hope that Fiji get a win against the USA. Should Kenya and the USA tie on points, it will come down to a World Rugby decision where the USA might have an edge over Shujaa. The Bordeaux leg is the final and decisive leg of the 2026 World Rugby 7 Series, with the top 8 teams playing in Division 1 next season, while the bottom 4 will be relegated to Sevens 2.
Nyala clears away for Kenya. Need to get back into it. They butchered a try late in the half, right on half-time. Sadi's dangerous, sniping around, and then the hands are good. Oro, and he's got a Dongo with him. This time, Kerr again trying to stay in, and then he slips off it, and Patrick Adongo puts Kenya in front.
A bitter pill to swallow today for the Kenya Rugby Legends when they were beaten by the Uganda Legends for the first time in the 2026 SportPesa Legends Cup in a tightly contested game of thrills and spills at the Mombasa Sports Club, where Uganda won 16-15. The visitors had taken the lead via an Ivan Kirabo penalty before Darwin Mukiza struck back for the home team to put them up front. Michael Wokrach wasted no time to ensure Uganda went ahead again with a try that was converted by Kirabo, who also scored a penalty afterwards. The Kenyan Legends were undeterred as they struck again with another try by Tony Owor, with Mukiza adding the tally with a conversion. Kenya thought they had won the match 15-13, but a quick response from Uganda's Kirabo spoiled their party as he scored another penalty that ultimately saw them defeat Kenya for the first time since 2023. The SportPesa League Legends Cup is a cross-border exhibition tournament that brings together former rugby players from Kenya and Uganda to celebrate the region's rich history in rugby. Legends. National men's volleyball team Wafalme are back in the country, having secured their ticket to the African Nations Championship that will be held in September in Kinshasa after emerging victorious in the CAVB Zone 5 qualifiers.
Wafalme swept past Burundi by straight sets of 25-19, 25-18 and 25-15 in their final match to confirm the dominance with a perfect record where they won all their matches. Wafalme, initially in a similar fashion, also swept aside the 3 other nations, Uganda, Tanzania and South Sudan, by straight sets in the round-robin format.
We never lost any set. 4 wins, 0 sets lost, and that is a big move for the Wafalme, and that shows that this team actually the dream is on.
Na tunashukuru Mungu kwa sababu tulishinda wote 3-0 ambaye hatukuwa nafikiria, but ile kitu tulifanya mazoezi ambayo hatukuwa nafikiria tunaweza cheza hivyo, but nashukuru Mungu vijana ile kitu kidogo tulifanya ilikubali, na nashukuru Mungu tulicheza tukashinda.
It was double celebrations for the Wafalme Stars players after also dominating the awards for the concluded CAVB Zone 5 qualifiers.
I say we are hungry for trophies, we are hungry for the wins, and we are still hungry to get more of this.
The on-form trio of Nicholas Matui, Levis Ogutu and Brian Meli were all elated when they won awards for the most valuable player, best middle blocker and best setter respectively.
There is only one way to save the both of you.
What is it?
I promise you, I'll pick up where you left off.
Xiaoling,
huh?
We don't have too much time. The chain is beginning to tighten.
Wait!
You make it sound so easy. This is serious. A little puppy love isn't going to solve all this.
As the saying goes, roll with the punches.
Starting right now. Rakshasa is in your hands.
And welcome back. It's all system go for the 5th annual Nairobi City Marathon set for tomorrow, with over 17,000 participants expected to compete in the 42 kilometers, 21 kilometers, 10 kilometers and 5-kilometer races.
All races will start outside City Hall and end at Uhuru Park, with the marathon, which has attracted 1,750 athletes, starting at 6:45 a.m. The second race to be flagged off will be the half marathon at 9 a.m. with 5,050 athletes competing.
Tomorrow is going to be a big day. We have the large number of participants this year. Last year we had about 14,000. This year we have almost 18,000. We have 17,575. And it shows the interest from the public. Nairobians are turning out in large numbers to participate in this marathon. They understand the importance of it. And as you can see yourself, the organization is really, really good. You know, we are improving every year.
The 10-kilometer expressway run, which has attracted 6,550 athletes, will start at 10 a.m. and conclude with the 5-kilometer, where over 4,000 participants will be competing from 11 a.m.
5 years down the line, you have shown that, yes, it can be. Because the idea was to make sure that we give something to our athletes who have done so well, especially the marathoners worldwide. They compete in New York, they compete in Boston, Chicago, London, and many others. But we did not have a marathon which is equivalent to what they have. So the government said, yes, let us organize something, and they will give the support. We have done as a federation that, and the impact of this event you can see for yourself.
Several roads in and out of the CBD, as well as Uhuru Highway, Wayaki Way and the Expressway, will be closed between 12 a.m. on Sunday and 2 p.m. to pave way for the race.
Uhuru Highway, both sides will be closed. Kenyatta Avenue, Haile Selassie, City Hallway. City Hallway is where the event will going to start. Therefore, we shall go to close City Hallway.
The winners of the marathon race will pocket Kenyan shillings 3.5 million, while the second and third placed athletes will walk home with 2.25 and 1.5 million shillings, respectively.
The CS Sport is going to be there. We have also ambassadors from France. He's also going to run. We have ambassador from China is going to be there. We have also senior government officials who will be participating in this event. It shows the interest from the public. It is really amazing that you find people across the board in all spheres of life in Kenya. They want to run on top of the expressway. They want to see their Nairobi. They want to be part of now taking snapshots of what is going on, to know their city.
The race aims to showcase Nairobi City as Kenya bids to host the World Athletics Championship for either 2029 or 2031.
And the Kenya Women's Premier League basketball continued today at the Nyao Indoor Gymnasium, with Safe Spaces beating Lady Titans 72 points to 47. Safe Spaces won 20-11 and 11-10 in the first and second quarters, respectively, to record a 33-21 lead by the end of the first half. Spaces continued their dominance, winning 20 points to 10 and 19 points to nothing in the third and fourth quarters, respectively. In Division 1 matches, Strathmore Swords eased to an 83-35 win against the National Lead Service, while Snipers edged Click Mamba 60 points to 51. And Ulinzi shooters were on a roll today in the second leg of the Kenya Handball Federation Premier League to contain the General Service Unit men. In today's matches, Sean Moyer has the details.
The match of the day saw Lindsay come from behind to edge GSU 26-29 in a thrilling contest. GSU held a narrow 14-12 lead at half-time, but Kevin Imo inspired Lindsay's comeback, scoring 11 goals, while Solomon Kimalewa scored 7 goals to seal the victory. Elsewhere, Strathmore edged Lions HC 21-29 after leading 13-14 at half-time, before scoring 15 goals in the second half to earn the win. Desert Scorpions claimed a crunching 23-41 victory over UOE Peepers, with Stephen Wanyama scoring 7 goals. Meanwhile, Equity was awarded a walkover win over Kisiwa after their opponents failed to honour the fixture, earning maximum points in the league standings. Sean Muya for Legends Edition.
And the 2026 FIFA World Cup co-host Canada drew 1-1 with the Republic of Ireland last night in a tightly contested match in another round of the international friendlies ahead of the Global Showcase, which kicks off on Thursday next week. The Canucks struck first after forcing an own goal from a corner in the 23rd minute after the opposing player O'Brien headed the ball into his own net. The Republic of Ireland were awarded a penalty after Kyle O'Reilly committed a high boot foul in the 6-yard box. Chiedozie Ogbene was quickest to react and slammed in the rebound to tie the match. In other results, Belgium triumphed 5-0 over Tunisia, while Peru edged out Haiti by 2-1. Saudi Arabia beat Puerto Rico by 3-0 in another friendly. Kenya's Harambee Stars meanwhile will be taking on Lesotho in a reverse fixture tomorrow in the ongoing international friendly window after drawing 1-1 in the first match.
Jonathan David, it's David, finds Kyle Larrin. Kyle Larrin with a chance for Canada! Oh, just past the post! Did Travers get a touch on the way through? As Cornelius tries to get back on Bene's ball into the middle, comes all the way here from Milia! Crepeau with a save! From Milia.
And the 2026 FIFA World Cup extravaganza is gaining momentum by the day, with only 5 days remaining until kickoff on Thursday, the 11th of June, at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City. The qualified nations are already settling into their base camps as international supporters continue to stream into host cities. Speaking on KBC's Game On Sports program, Canadian High Commissioner to Kenya Joshua Taba, who was accompanied by the Mexican ambassador to Kenya, Giselle Fernandez Ludlow, drummed up support for the co-host while wishing all visiting teams a victorious outing. In light of public health concerns, Taba also urged international travelers, especially those who have been to Uganda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo and South Sudan for the last 2 weeks, to check out on extra measures which have been put out when applying for visas.
For Kenyans, it's a visa, same thing for Ugandans or people from the region. The official website is key. Don't fall for scams. If anyone's guaranteeing you a visa, if you pay for it, that's going to be a scam. Please don't do that. Time is very, very short. Ensure that your visa is transparent, comprehensive. Don't skip any questions and make sure it's honest. And then also send us a web form message. You'll see the link to let us know that you have tickets or need to urgently travel for the World Cup, and we can do our best to facilitate it, but it is very late. Now, for anyone who's been in Uganda, DRC, or South Sudan in the last 2 weeks, we do have a mandatory quarantine measure in place, and so there's more details on our website, but you should be very attentive to that as well.
We invite everyone to visit our official website or our X account, MMex Kenya, and also the Embassy of Mexico in Kenya, where we have all the details on how to apply for a visa, and also to let us know whether they will be just traveling or if they have already a ticket for the games.
And like they say, it's Mexico. It's the first country that's going to host 3 World Cups, 1970, 1986, and 2026. The USA is hosting a second World Cup after hosting it in 1994, now 2026. Canada joining what is known as NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Area, the NAFTA zone. So those 3 countries hosting the World Cup starting from the 11th of June. It's very interesting because when you take a look at it, the opening game of the 2010 World Cup was South Africa versus Mexico. The opening game of the 2026 World Cup is going to be Mexico versus South Africa. Coincidence or just an incident? Well, it depends on where you see it. And We'll be looking at it from Thursday. Lots to look out, and this is where we will bring in the phrase Hakuna Kurara, because the matches will be played way into the night. And by the way, there is an interesting game on the 14th of June. There's a game that is going to be played at 7 a.m. East African time. Pastors, please mark that. Everyone will be coming for the late service after that game kicks off at 7 and ends up at 9. So the earliest most of your congregation will come in will be 10 or 11 a.m. That's on the 14th of June. My name is Daniel Wahome, and thank you for being with us on Legends Edition Sport. Back to you, Irene.
Thank you, Wahome, for that brief. I've underlined pastors should know about the match. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. That is where we put a cap on the Legends Edition. My name is Muchuma Odim. Our said language expert tonight is Byron Obule. God bless you.
My name is Tabitha Wairimu Onyego.
Yeah, my name is Enoch Onyego Matundura. We used to live the same area.
Our parents were neighbors. I thought he's married. He looked very mature.